I am breaking down the 5 steps you need to create a magnetic personal brand on Instagram in 2023. Whether you are just getting started, you're growing, or you want to make more money from your personal brand, you need to be incorporating these tips which I'm about to share. These are the secrets behind how I built an online business at age 22, and number 3 alone got me a $7,500 client when I started implementing this. So if you're wanting to build a personal brand which brings in new followers, new opportunities, and new sales consistently, then keep watching. Let's start with number 1, which is probably the simplest and the most underrated thing which you can be doing right now. And that is fully showing up consistently as the transformation which you are selling and promoting to people. People are attracted to what they are actually desiring in their own lives. If they are wanting to get fit, they're attracted to profiles of people who are fit, who are going to the gym, who are living that lifestyle, who are a living embodiment of exactly what they're wanting to create in their own lives. That is what will actually attract your people to you. That is what will make people want to stick around. That is what will make you absolutely magnetic to the type of person that you're wanting to have on your page. If you can not only show your people how to create this transformation for themselves and how to embody more of this, but show yourself as being the lived example of this, show yourself walking the walk instead of just talking the talk, then they are going to want to come along for the journey with you. They are going to want to consume more of your content because they are attracted to what they are desiring. That is what they are wanting more of in their own lives. So they're wanting to surround themselves intentionally with this thing, and you can be that. But you need to do this consistently. You want to become a part of this person's day-to-day routine where they know that they can go and see you posting content and sharing about this. Again, that doesn't mean you need to be posting every single day, but you need to be consistent as you are posting and as you are talking about these things, because what is actually going to make you magnetic to these people is you being a consistent example of this in their lives. Whatever your thing is, there is probably so much content already on the internet that exists showing people how they can have that transformation, how they can improve in that area of their life. So you really want to stand out and you really want to be someone which people are drawn towards. And the way to do that is not just this how-to content. Yes, that has a purpose, and yes, that can be really helpful, but also showing them that it is actually possible for them, being the lived example and showing them that they can actually do this in their lives. They can actually have this life and that this tangibly exists. You can probably see for yourself anything you've ever wanted to do. Once you've seen someone who's actually got that thing, is actually done that, has actually achieved that, it makes it seem so much more possible for you as well. And if you can do this consistently, you get to become a role model for your audience. You get to become someone that they're aspiring to be like, someone that they want to embody the qualities of. And guess what? That's going to have them consistently coming back to your content, saving your content, consuming your content, sharing it with friends, having that as something which really inspires them. And not only is that going to get them engaging more with you, wanting to follow you, sharing you with friends, all of those amazing things which we love to see, but it's also going to have you in their mind as someone who, as soon as you post, they want to see your content straight away. If they know you're posting YouTube videos on Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern time, you better believe they're going to be there because they know that your content is going to help to create a certain feeling for them, and that feeling is more of what they're wanting. So show up as the transformation, literally embody in every area of your life the thing which you are trying to inspire, encourage, sell for other people to do as well, and show up consistently while you're doing this as well. Be there as a tangible part of every single person's week within your audience. The second thing which you can do to create a magnetic personal brand in 2023 on Instagram is to look at other creators. See what other people are doing. And this is a little bit of research for you, but it can be so valuable. There's certain creators who you find magnetic yourself, who you consistently go back to. And that is because you really resonate with a certain quality or trait which they have, which they are making you feel as well. That could be someone is so confident and it really inspires you. That could be someone is really doing well in their fitness goals. Or it could simply be that they just feel like pure sunshine and they are just really happy with their life, and that is exactly what you're wanting as well. But for all the creators which you love, there's a certain reason why you are going back, and it can be really helpful to figure out for each of those creators, why is it that you're going back? Because the traits which you are seeing in them, the traits which you are really resonating with, in the same way that your customers and your ideal clients and your followers are following you, they are seeing traits within you that they really resonate with, that they really want to embody more of, that they really want to have themselves and bring out within themselves. But those traits are within you. That's why you are resonating with these people. So it can be really powerful to look to other creators which you follow. So find your top 5 creators who you love their content, you find them really magnetic for you, and look at what are the traits within them, what are the things which they are doing which are really drawing you in. because you can use these within your own content as well. If you can see that you are really attracted to people who are really unapologetically confident and are really just showing up in front of the camera, not caring what anyone thinks, can you embody that within your own content as well? Because your audience are most likely going to really resonate with that too. But essentially here, we're wanting to really curate a personal brand rather than it being a random collection of things which we've happened to stumble into. We really want to curate the personal brand which we are creating on Instagram, and that starts with figuring out who do you really want to be. So put together all of these words which you find you really resonate with about from these other creators that you yourself follow, and see what you want to bring into your personal brand, and come up with a few key words to describe how you're wanting your audience to feel about you, what you're wanting them to think about when they think of you, and intentionally bring these into your content, whether that is more confidence, whether that is seeming really happy and showing up in a really joyful way, or whether that's even being really organized and being really productive. Whatever it is that you really resonate with, curate your personal brand to circle around these pieces and really keep your content all focused around these parts. This makes it really easy as well for you to attract the right type of person for you, because they know what they're following for. Someone is following you because you really inspire them to be more organized, because you seem like you're really confident and they love the confidence which you have, and that makes them feel more confident. They're following you for a reason, and we want to make sure that we're consistently delivering for this particular reason, because otherwise they're going to not engage and they're going to end up unfollowing. So part of actually being magnetic is actually that consistency of knowing exactly what your brand is and then being consistent with this over time. Your content gives people a reliable place to go back to. They know what they're getting, and that can be really beneficial for you. That makes you completely stand out in the feed whenever they're seeing your posts, because they know what they're going to get from you. Even if the actual content ideas are different every time, they know what they're going to get in terms of the vibe which they're getting, in terms of the energy which they're really getting from you, and how they're perceiving you. We want to create an experience which is really reliable, but also intentional with what they are actually coming to us for. So that is why you want to look at the content creators which you really love, pick out those characteristics, and then decide what ones you're embodying within your own personal brand, and then be consistent with this over time. Now, number 3, this has been a game changer for me, and this has literally transformed my business and my personal brand. What we want to do here is pick some connection points for our personal brand and consistently bring these in. This is different to what we were talking about in tip 2, where we were saying about the different words and the different vibes and energy which people are getting from you. These are very specific, tangible things which people are going to connect with you over. So you can see this pattern playing out in personal brands that are really successful and are really magnetic to you and to other people as well. If you thought of some creators straight away, you can probably name a few things which are very tangible about them, which you instantly think about. It might be, for example, that they love McDonald's. It might be that they have a Labrador puppy which they've just adopted. It might be that they have a baby which they've just had. But some very specific things which you know about that person are so valuable in terms of building a personal brand, because that's why you actually build a relationship. The person on the other end of the screen gets to feel like they really know you because they know some things about you. There's some very specific things. They're not vague, but they feel like they've been let into a little part of your life. Again, this doesn't need to be sharing every single thing, but if you can very strategically and intentionally pick a few things which you tend to consistently do, or you tend to really love, and you can actually bring those into your personal brand just in small ways, but consistently, you become known for these things, and that can be really valuable for you. So for example, for me, last year I mentioned that I bought this really big plant for my bedroom, and it just kept growing over summer. It was getting bigger and bigger, and I was posting updates every so often on my Instagram about the plant growth, and it got to the point where people were actually actively messaging me when I hadn't posted any pictures or videos of it in a few weeks, asking how the plant was doing, asking how much it had grown, and that was really valuable because firstly, they knew me for something. These people were actively thinking of me because they hadn't seen me talk about this certain area which they associated me with for a while. So they were actively reaching out to engage with me, to ask how that was doing, to ask for updates in the way that you would with a friend. Now, this has actually signed me clients, and one of these in particular signed me a $7,500 client last year. One of the connection points which I share a lot on my Instagram and in my own personal brand is that I really love Disney. I used to work for them a few years ago. I visited the Disney parks books quite a lot. So I share about this every so often, and one person who I connected with, a fellow business owner who was seeking coaching at the time but was deciding between a few different people, the one thing which made her decide to work with me as opposed to anyone else, which she was already having meetings with, was the fact that we both connected over Disney. We instantly had that connection. We built a relationship very quickly. She had not known me for much time at all. We had only been speaking for a few days before she spent $7,500 hiring me, but it was purely because we were able to form that connection and that relationship really quickly. And you can see how this can play out with your followers, whether you are a personal brand or whether you're a business. You can form connections really quickly with people, and they can really quickly feel like they know you well and feel like they have a relationship and a friendship even with you, because they're able to see these connection points which they can also resonate with. So here's what I want you to do in terms of tangibly bringing this into your personal brand. Pick 3 connection points. They can be things which you love, they can be things you do quite a lot, they can be things which are just a big part of your life. Pick 3 things and share them consistently. Make sure you're talking about them at least once a week, even in a small way, even if, for example, your plant is featured in the back of one of your videos. It can be a really small way, but you want to make sure this is consistent because people are going to start to associate you with those certain things. The 4th thing which you can do to become absolutely magnetic with your personal brand on Instagram in 2023 is creating a routine for your audience. This means you're really wanting to become a part of their week, become a part of their life, by having something where they know they can consistently get content from you, and they know that you do a certain thing every Monday, for example. We can see this tip in action in a lot of other different forms of media. So for example, television shows, a Monday morning breakfast show, that person has made them a part of their routine. Every Monday, they'll go and listen to this breakfast show before they're going to work, while they're eating their breakfast, while they're preparing for their day. They become a part of their routine, so they feel like they really know those people, and they would notice their absence if they went missing suddenly. This is an incredible and really, really powerful way to consistently get engagement from your audience, to build an amazing community, and to build really in-depth relationships with people as well, because you are literally becoming a part of their day-to-day, a part of their weekly routine. A really easy way to do this is having a weekly series, for example, where you talk about a certain topic or do a certain thing every single week, but pick a particular day, because again, if it's at a certain time, a certain day, you can really become a part of that person's routine, and they know that this person has a video coming out at this time on the Monday. This person has their little TikTok video, which they do on Sundays, for example, which I always watch. You can even see YouTubers doing this with their audience, where you probably know the upload schedules of your favorite YouTubers. You know what days they're uploading, so you're going to be actively looking for when they're uploading. You don't even need to be a YouTuber to do this though. This can be short form content. This could be letting people know what days you're posting on Instagram. This could be doing a certain thing on your stories every single Monday on Instagram. But essentially you're wanting to build that habit and consistently let people know that this thing is going to be happening at this certain time on this certain day. At the start, you might not get many people tuning in live for that particular thing which you're doing, but this is really powerful for the longevity this is building for your business, because again, consistently reminding people that this thing is happening, it's going to grow over time. You're going to get more people who are finding your content, who are finding it really magnetic, who are wanting more of that experience where you're more a part of their life and they're able to get even more value from you. And they're going to start tuning in. And the thing is, once they've made a habit of that, once they've made a habit of tuning into your Saturday morning lives, for example, they're probably not going to stop, because it's going to become so normal for them to tune into these. So it's a really great way to get consistency with your engagement and build a real relationship with your audience, where you're not someone who just happens to pop up on their feed every so often, but they can actively go looking for your content at a certain time because they know something is coming at that time. A few ideas for you to use potentially for how you can do this. You could do a live at a certain day and time each week. So you go live on Instagram, you talk about a different topic each time. But again, the important piece here is to make it consistent. So pick a day, pick a time that you know you can do every single week without fail. You could, for example, have a series on your stories where you're going to be talking about a certain thing, or doing a Q&A, for example, at a certain day and time each week. You could be letting people know what your posting schedule is and have a certain post which is going out on Mondays always. There are so many different formats that you do this in, and it doesn't really matter the format that you choose. It's simply we're wanting to build a consistent habit for our audience where they know that there's something coming from us at a certain day and a certain time, and they know to tune in for that. They feel incentivized to tune in for that because it's content that they're wanting to consume, and it's something which is really easily able to fit in with their routines. And once they've started watching it, they're probably not going to stop. The 5th and final tip for building a magnetic personal brand on Instagram in 2023 is you need to unfilter yourself. You need to stop trying to be so professional. You need to stop overthinking things, filming things twice. You need to show up as if you're speaking to a friend. So many of these tips which we've talked about have really been based around building connections, building relationships, and almost integrating yourself into your audience and followers' life. And you can see this pattern play out again because the people that you follow, they probably feel like a friend to you. They're not showing up on the camera all perfect or completely prepared. They make mistakes and that's totally fine. But most importantly, it doesn't feel like there's any kind of filter there. It feels like they're just speaking straight to you in a very casual and very personal way. So you want to really practice not overthinking what you're talking about. Again, we want to have those preparations and those foundations where we clearly know what our personal brand is about. We know what those connection points are. We know what we're trying to make people feel essentially. But once we know this, turn on the camera, start recording, start speaking to people, start creating content, and don't overthink it too much. Yes, we want quality content, but also the quantity matters to quite a big extent. It's much better and more strategic for you to put out 100 posts over the year, which are pretty good posts, versus putting out 20 posts over the year, which are exceptional posts. The 20 is not going to get you growing, whereas the 100 absolutely are. One thing which I know holds a lot of people back here, and I've seen this play out time and time again with my clients in terms of unfiltering yourself, is feeling like you need to be filtered online to some extent because, for example, there's people in your real life following you, or you're worried that certain people would see your content, or you feel uncertain about sharing certain things. And what I would say to that is make it as easy as possible for you to unfilter yourself. So if there's certain people which are holding you back from really showing up and saying certain things and talking about the things you want to talk about, they don't need to be following you. You can remove followers. And if there's certain things you don't want to talk about and certain things you don't want to share, again, that's totally fine as well. That's why it's really powerful to pick, again, those connection pieces and what you do talk about on your brand. And it can also be really powerful as well to figure out what you don't share on your brand. Figure out where that line is for you of the things which you do share, the things which you do talk about, and the things which you don't as well, so you can be really clear on that. The most important thing is to make sure that you're removing any single blocks, any barriers which are getting in your way, and oftentimes they're really easy things to sort out, but we want to make it really easy and seamless for you to show up as your full self, for you to show up unfiltered, and for you to have a lot of fun on this personal brand, because having fun is going to make you magnetic as well. This is going to be the thing which makes people want to stick around, because if you're enjoying yourself, they're going to be enjoying themselves too. So really be intentional about curating an environment on your page where you feel like you can completely show up as yourself and you don't need to be filtered in any way at all. Those are 5 really simple ways to build a magnetic personal brand on Instagram in 2023. And if you implement these, your followers, your growth, and your sales are about to skyrocket. Comment below which tip was your favorite and which one you're gonna be trying out first. Now, having a personal brand is one thing, but there is so much potential once you have made this magnetic with what you do with this next, with what you can create, with how you can grow. And that is why I'm sharing with you in my next video exactly how you can make money, exactly how you can make sales on Instagram with your personal brand. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you do not miss this. I hope this video helps you. Make sure you give it a like, and I will see you in the next one.